everyone, welcome back to class. You're watching Anime Academy. This semester, we're going to be talking about the studios that bring your favorite anime to life. I'm Victoria Holden, and today's class is on Studio Sunrise. There are a handful of studios that transcend generational and even fandom barriers. They've been around for so long and produced so many mega hits that their name has spread beyond the usual anime circles. And while after 4 decades of non-stop animation work on timeless franchises like Gundam, Sunrise has earned that recognition. The studio's origins can be traced back to the very inception of anime as we understand it nowadays. While the industry as a whole was still figuring out how to approach producing anime, Mushi Production left its competitors behind with its efficient methodology. Captained by the god of manga, Osamu Tezuka, they made the first proper TV anime, Astro Boy, and set a series of standards that still define anime nowadays. Things quickly went downhill after Tezuka's departure, however, which eventually made them file for bankruptcy and caused massive talent leaks during the early 70s. Many creators who left at the time went on to start their own studios, such as Madhouse, Group TAC, and more relevantly, Sunrise themselves. After this particular crew of 7 artists left Mushi Pro, the company they founded started operating in 1972 under the name Sunrise Studio, quickly producing their first TV show, Hazedon. I would point at their second series, Zero Tester, instead as the more important event. Though the show itself isn't exactly popular, it was their very first robot anime, one that also happened to involve staff that would later create some of their biggest mecha franchises. It's not an exaggeration to say that robots are one of the first things that come to mind when people bring up Sunrise, if not the #1 thing. And for good reason. Vodum's The Yusha series, multiple iterations of Patlabor, Escaflowne, Code Geass, and of course countless Gundam titles. There's no end to the memorable series involving robots that their staff have created over the years. Many different styles, but one reoccurring theme: big, cool mecha. Even nowadays, as hand-drawn mecha becomes rarer and rarer, Sunrise do their best to keep that important tradition alive. Sure, they've dabbled in CGI and even have their own 3D staff, but even their president has assured fans that franchises as massive as Gundam will always maintain a space for hand-drawn goodness. And as a consequence of that, animators who still love to draw robots are drawn to Sunrise over most other studios, making their goal to sustain 2D mechs easier to achieve. As many of you know, traditionally animated robots are an endangered species, so we should be eternally grateful to them. But that's not their single defining trait. Perhaps because of their origins at Mushi Pro, where they had no option but to keep on focusing on Osamu Tezuka adaptations, Sunrise has since the very beginning made an effort to create an environment where individual producers could lead projects. And because of that, they kept on forming independent teams within the company. One of the hidden truths of the anime industry is that many production companies don't have one big pool of staff to use on their projects, but rather have divided into internal teams that act on their own. And Sunrise is the quintessential case of this sub-studio system. The company is so massive and their dedication to multi-threading so serious that they serve as the perfect example of this approach. They had numbered sub-studios up to 11, specialized ones like the CGI crew, Sunrise DID, even project-specific cases like Sunrise Studio Origin and Studio Aikatsu. At the end of the day, fans only see the company's name attached to an anime, but Sunrise is a very complex ecosystem with many teams who work on their own. There are crews brought together because of similar sensibilities, like Sunrise Studio 5, which over the last decade has featured many comedy experts working on their most enthralling titles. Meanwhile, Sunrise Studio 8 mostly focused on anime with cuteness as a factor, so you wouldn't be surprised to hear that they are the staff behind the Love Live franchise. And as I said earlier, the common thread might be very specific, even when the department itself isn't explicitly named after a single title. That's the case of Sunrise Studio 3, for example, who have been producing Gundam TV anime and their related films for many years. No matter the case though, one idea stays the same. All these sub-studios are independent entities when it comes to production and chase their own goals, keeping the same spirit Sunrise had since the beginning. It's important to note that recently the creation of Bandai Namco Pictures seemed to shake things up quite a bit. The massive conglomerate Bandai, which has owned Sunrise since the 90s, decided to split away parts of the studio to establish this new subsidiary. To put it plainly, they're essentially Sunrise's new little sister, meant to unite all their family-friendly daytime broadcast titles under the same flag. They've took over existing titles like Gintama and Aikatsu, and new ones that fit the criteria now get sent to them rather than Sunrise. When it comes to the actual creators though, things haven't really changed at all. Bandai Namco Pictures is actually comprised of Sunrise sub-studios that pretty much only change the title of their doorplate. Sometimes these grand-scale industry moves turn out to have little effect when you go down to the individual level. What's your favorite Sunrise production? Let us know in the comment section below or tweet your answers to us at Crunchyroll with the hashtag Anime Academy. And let us know what studio you'd be interested in learning about next. Thank you so much for watching. If you liked this video, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel to get notified whenever we upload a new episode. Don't forget to share this video to help spread the anime love, and I will see you next class.